want to walk you through my courses. I want to walk you through a little bit about how my Schoology page is organized and a little bit about how you can navigate Schoology to see where your students' assignments are, how their grades are doing, and what you can do to help them. So I have created a sample course, a test course, and in this course I have added a few of my teacher friends as my sample students. So we are looking at this course as though we are my student, Mr. Adams. Your students might have Mr. Adams as their teacher, but he's my student here in my sample course because I wanted you to be able to see this exactly the way your student sees their Schoology page. So they will click on period 1, 2, 3, 5, or 6. Period 4 is my conference period, and they will see exactly what you are looking at right here on the screen. The very first folder that they will see is the Orientation Fall 2021 folder. In the Orientation folder, they will find any and all materials that will be helpful to them throughout the semester. So if they click on it and they open that folder up, you are going to see the welcome back letter that I sent out at the beginning of the year. They're going to see the syllabus right here. You're going to see the classroom expectations, my plagiarism policy. I have a question and answer thread, which is where my students can always just post questions they have that maybe they didn't want to ask in class or maybe they had after school hours, and I will answer it, right? I check this about once a week and I come through and I answer all questions. You have a link to my teacher website right here, and then I also just add any and all links or tips or hacks that I think might be useful. So this folder grows throughout the year. Right now I have how to submit a Google Doc, a tech page, tech device and connectivity request form in case you need a Chromebook, need a charger, anything like that. So I also have on here, you see the syllabus Google Forms and the plagiarism Google Forms. I have been asking your student to submit these since day one after we went through the syllabus and I went over the plagiarism policy with them. I asked them to submit this form. To fill it in, they do need to be logged in on their Chromebook or their whatever device they're using. They need to be logged in with their LAUSD email. When they are, they can click on that form and it will just pop up and they can answer yes to everything and then their full name at the end. If they have not yet done so, please have them do that. They probably already have, to be honest. All right, so let's go back into my orientation here. That's our Orientation Fall 2021 folder. I'll go through my syllabus here in just a moment. But let's continue to walk through our Schoology page. I also have an MLA citations and formatting folder. This is just a reference folder. It will never go away. It stays right here for all students all throughout the year. I am definitely a little more hardcore about my 12th graders always using MLA, whereas my 10th grade classes, we are building habits at this point, so we will be learning about MLA format and I will be encouraging them to use it. But there's all sorts of resources right here in this folder that they can always come back to if they have a question. There's a plagiarism folder right here, so what it is and how to avoid it. If your student tells you at any point throughout the year that Miss Havener never told them what plagiarism is, they had no idea what I meant by this word, what it is, or that they were doing it, that is simply not true. Because I talk about this in the first week. We all did some exercises together. We went through some videos and we talked about my policy, and there are multiple resources here to help your student not accidentally or intentionally commit plagiarism throughout the school year. We will talk throughout the year about how to properly cite things, how often to cite things, and we will work together on this. All right, the library folder is also here. You're not going to see anything in it at the moment as I have not added anything quite yet, but anytime I give your student a PDF, an article, a reading, a doc, anything of that nature, anything that is outside the textbook, it will be right here in this folder. So you would simply click on it and you would find any readings that I give you that exist outside of their textbook. Now, this is specifically for my honors students. I have honors 12th grade expository composition. I also have honors 10A. So for my honors families, pay attention here. I do have a folder specifically for their honors summer assignment. Now, at the time that you will be viewing this at back to school night, the due date has come and gone. However, I am still accepting late work for reduced credit. I cannot express enough how important it is to make sure you still submit that work even if the credit is reduced, even if I've docked some late points. No credit is far, far worse than late credit. So to submit that summer assignment, if they haven't already, which I'll bet they have, you would simply click and then you will see the assignment windows right here for them. All right, let's go back out here to our main folder. Now, the way I organize my folders here for our in-person live 2021 fall semester is exactly the way I organized my work when we were virtual. I understand this is a weird year, and we may have students that are absent for a variety of reasons, right? We are all very serious about encouraging you to stay home when you feel ill and take care of yourself, and you may be out for a variety of things on top of that. So if you ever miss class, this is where you go. I will also direct my students who are in class, we will go through this every Monday, and they can always come back to these weekly folders to see exactly what assignments we are doing and where we are. So, week 1, I have the week number and the dates that it covers. You can see there is a little snapshot of what we're up to this week. If you click on it and open that folder, you will see for week 1, you'll always see an assignments due subfolder. When you open that, you can see the assignments that are due, right? This is where your student will submit their work, where they will see their assignments. You will also see anything else that I wanted to post for them. Week 1, I wanted to make sure they knew exactly where those syllabus Google Forms and the plagiarism Google Forms were. This is going to be true for each week of the course. Week 2, I went ahead and posted in here. So you see in week 2, we have an assignments due subfolder. We have 2 assignments that were due week 2 of the course. And you also have a PowerPoint presentation that we went through in class. It's here in case they ever need to reference it, or maybe they were absent for that presentation. And then any videos that I think will be useful for the content this week. We might watch some or all of these videos in class, or maybe I will just refer your student to them for reference. Maybe we don't have time to watch them in class, but maybe that's something I think might help them if they're at home. So we have videos, we have presentations, and we have assignments. All right, let's go on back out here to the top. If you're unfamiliar with Schoology, maybe you're joining us from another district, or maybe you just weren't logging in onto the Schoology page over the last year, just a couple of things to point out to you. If you look to your right here on the screen, you will see upcoming. If you're ever wondering what assignments are coming down the way for your student in my class, you can always look at the upcoming list. You see the date and the list and the work listed, and then this is coming up for September 3rd, which is past by the time you see this video, but you see the work coming up and when it is due. I tend to assign all of my work on a Monday and then have the due date fall on that Friday, so they can turn work in at any point throughout the week for full on-time credits. They can even turn it in Friday night if they want. It does say 11:59 after all. I do caution my students that they shouldn't be doing homework on Friday night. They should be relaxing, but they certainly can turn it in as late as that. All right, so let's talk about how you check your students' grades. So if you are the parent of Mr. James Adams here and you want to see how he is doing, if you want to lurk over his shoulder, or if your student is having trouble checking their grades or knowing how they're doing in class, all they ever have to do is come over here to the left and click on grades. And then their progress report for the class will pop up. Now, I just filled in some scores from Mr. Adams, but you can see at the top of the list here is his overall average. He currently has an A. Good job, Mr. Adams. And then you can see the scores for individual assignments. You can see the categories that they fall into. We have discussions, we have homework, we have quizzes. Now, you might see different or more categories in your actual student. This is just a sample course. I think I have writing, classwork, participation added in for those students. So you can see, if you see this little square, it means that assignment had a rubric. And if you're wondering how that rubric was marked, you can click on it and it's right there. You can click on the X to get out. Now, sometimes you might see a little, almost like a little thought bubble coming off to the right of a score, and it has a little note in it. Maybe that was just a comment I made about the assignment. Good job, or maybe you could have improved this or that. Not always. Some assignments I will write directly on, or maybe I'll just talk to the student about their work. If you ever want more feedback on work, just let me know. I'm happy to do so. Okay, let's go back and talk about my syllabus. To do that, I'm going to click on the orientation folder and I'm going to click on my syllabus, which is going to pop up here any minute now in my Schoology document. There you go. So my grade scale is really normal. It's a 90 and up is an A, 80 to 89, 70 to 79, 60 to 69, 59 and below. I do not round grades. You get what you get. If you're on the edge and you want a higher grade, you can always come here and see what you have. It should never be a surprise what your grade is, what your student's grade is. So if you're on a 89% and you want that A, you just know before that progress report is due that you need to really work hard to pull it up to an A. Cooperation and work habit marks. To get an E, you need to have an A in the class, and you need to really be excellent. You went above and beyond the call of duty. You were pleasant and cooperative, made the classroom a better place. An S is just fine. Maybe you didn't participate much, but certainly nothing outrageous. Maybe you just have been super quiet in class. An S would cover a C through a B. A U for work habits is any D or F, and a U for cooperation would be any kind of disciplinary mark. If I have to keep reminding a student about staying on task or not distracting others, that kind of thing, that might be a U for that particular progress report. You would have been notified if your student was in danger of receiving a U, but it's, a U on the progress reports is not permanent. It's just a warning that maybe they need to step up behavior or work habits. Attendance. There really is not a virtual option for attendance this year, so please make sure in order to be counted present, I do have to have your student in class, in their seat on time. If it's an excused absence, you need to go through the attendance office and make sure it is cleared. Excused tardies. I know that line to get into the school sometimes can get kind of long, or they may get caught, talking to a teacher, or something may happen on campus. I am just asking that they talk to me as they arrive in class and tell me what was going on so that I don't mark them tardy. Otherwise, if they're just late, sometimes we all are, they will be marked late for your class, and you might get that robocall telling you, right? You do run the risk, if you are chronically out of your seat at the top of class or chronically late to class and you don't have a good reason for it, that you may lose participation points. If you are submitting late work, please make sure it does have an excused absence note, or that your student has just talked to me so I know why it's coming in. Work. I just showed you how all work is posted in a weekly Schoology folder. Late work. I have a pretty liberal policy on late work. I just said before that my assigned work on a Monday, it is due on a Friday. If you turn it in, you have a full week after that, so a full week all the way to the next Friday to submit that work late without any penalty whatsoever. After that, I do reserve the right to dock late points up to 50% of the assignment. So please be aware. Now, if you have an IEP or just a life circumstance that really requires you to have more time on a particular assignment, please let me know. I will know anyway at some point. They will inform us, all of us teachers. But if something comes up, just talk to me and I will certainly waive late points. I do not offer extra credit, so please tell your child not to ask. Every once in a blue moon, I will have an extra credit option. It's usually the kind of thing that just falls on the edge of the regular assignment. It's just right there, and some students already, are just going to work beyond the requirements. It's never groundbreaking. It's never life changing. It's never going to turn that D into an A. It's just a few points here and there, and it hardly ever happens. So please don't ask. I just don't do it. Essays. When we do formal essays, they will, of course, be typed, which is pretty easy since everything's submitted online. And then we will do all of our essays, even my 10th graders, in MLA format, which I will teach you. So don't worry. This is something we work on together. What does your student need for class? Here's your supplies, a textbook, novel, whatever we're reading. This might be on their Chromebook. Maybe it's digital. And then something to write with and something to write on. Occasionally, I'll have students handwrite things. Chromebook, laptop, tablet, charging cables, all of that fun stuff. Not being prepared for class in a chronic kind of way. Now, I'm not talking every once in a while, but if it happens all the time, it may result in a loss of participation points. So, behavior, obviously, I can't allow food in class because we are all wearing masks. Drinks are fine. I just ask that you bring a straw. I usually have some straws, but it would be awesome if you could bring your own. I like those nice reusable metal straws that you can put in anything and use them over and over again. I do reserve the right to move seats, hold cell phones just for the duration of the class. Oh, I do not want to hold on to that cell phone longer than that. And I also understand that students might be using them for the work in class. That's cool. But if I think that they are disruptive or I think people are just goofing off with them, I might hold them until the end of class. I will give them back because our lives are on those phones right now, aren't they? So I don't want to be responsible for that. I'll let you read through this on your own, but I just ask all of my students extend the patience that they would like to receive to all of the others right now. I have been so impressed with everybody this year as to how they have conducted themselves and how they have treated others, and I expect that to be a theme throughout the year. So thank you all so very much for joining us. I'm so happy to have your student in my classroom. If you ever have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me via email. We can set up an online meeting. We can set up anything. I'm happy to explain or help you and your student through anything that comes your way this year. I am really looking forward to this semester, and I hope that you are too. Thank you very much. Bye bye.